Hello, 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 everybody. Happy Tuesday, guys. Happy Tuesday. Taco Tuesday, as you all call it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope everybody's doing fine. Hope your family's safe. Hope you all are being warm, being blessed. It's always a pleasure to open up a live stream and see you guys here. That warms my heart, and I'm so appreciative of it. Happy Tuesday, guys. We're back here with another live stream, doing what we do. And tonight I just felt the need to leave the family in their mess where they are for tonight, because that's a type of mess. No matter how you slice it, it's going to be mess. And we're going to pick and choose when we play in that mess. Tonight ain't it. But welcome, guys. I appreciate you all for being here. For those of you that are new here, welcome. I'm Moca. These are the Nola Bells and Bows, and here is a place where we thrive on truth. We thrive on being the voice for the voiceless. And here in this space, this safe space, everybody is somebody. All opinions are welcome. And here we are seeking justice for our very own little Naziah Harris. I'm just going to go on and say it. I've been listening, observing, watching different angles from that preliminary hearing. And it left me sitting and scratching and moving and turning like, what? Something still ain't adding up. Believe me, tonight I ain't here to save nobody, defend nobody. But I do want to talk about what I felt was proven. Oh, baby, they did prove that that family was a mess. They did prove that access was allowed in the worst type of way. They also proved that Jarvis Butts did a lot of sneaking around with Naziah. But they didn't prove that he was granted permission. They also proved that he was lying. He lied about a lie. And they proved that Naziah was in a very dangerous situation because they allowed it. That family allowed it. Welcome everyone in the chat. Happy Tuesday, my loves. But what they didn't convince me of was this. I was not convinced, family. I was not convinced that everything that happened to Naziah happened because of Jarvis Butts. I listen and I'm like, do these people expect us to accept messages as a motive? Do they really want me to sit here and accept these TextNow messages as a motive? And then you want me to also accept the panic in Jarvis Butts as REDRUM. You want us to sit up here and look at it all as proof. It looks like. That's what you're saying. You want us to sit there and accept it looks like as proof. And I'm sorry, I just can't sit in a space and accept it like that when Messiah is still missing. There's nobody. The stories continue to shift. And it looks bad when everybody got a version, but the truth is still missing. So tonight we're going to talk about some things. And we're going to talk about more so what these people are just assuming we should allow. Or swallow, at least. Because one thing I know for sure, and that's Messiah was failed. And until the whole truth is told, we're going to keep on talking. We're going to keep on talking. Of course we will. Welcome everyone to the chat. Happy Tuesday, guys. If you've not yet hit that like button, hit the like button for your girl. Get yourselves comfortable, family. We're not here for a long time, but we're going to make the best of the time we do have. Y'all saw the thumbnail and y'all saw the title. Messiah Harris failed. We have their story. We have the court's version. And we also have the missing truth. Something ain't adding up. And we want to know tonight, has it been proven? Or are they assuming? So guys, get yourself comfortable. Gather on up in here. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Moca's going to do what Moca does each and every night. I'm going to step back for 1 minute. Let you all get comfortable. Gather your thoughts. Grab your drink. Grab your snacks. Grab your smoke. Do what you got to do because we're going to get into this. And I need y'all with me tonight. Justice for Messiah all day long. Justice for Messiah. Give me 1 minute and we'll be back.
Welcome to Moca, no love bills. Hit that like button, you might break the scale. If you can't join the membership, still ride for free. 99, yeah, we lit in here. Comments popping, energy rocking, we all shine. We have a stay. We have a stay. Turn it up, we in the South with style and grace. Moca got 'em talking, can't nobody take a place. Nah, from the bayou to the block, we drop truth, not tea. You ain't gotta pay the vibe, hit that like for free. Every panel on fire, every topic gon' trend. If you ain't a member yet, you still a friend, amen. Got love for the real, was no time for the mess. We keep it authentic, that's no labels at its best. Welcome to Moca, no love bells. Where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free 99 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe, we gon' live, we outside. Welcome to Moca, no love bells. Where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free 99 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe, we gon' live, we outside. It's Moca Mocha and the crew, we the talk of the streets. Bring the real back to YouTube, no scripts, no beats. We laugh, we drag, we educate too. All the bells in the chat know how we do. So tap in, lean back, sip your drink real slow. Let the haters keep watching, we steal the show. From Mocha to Nola, we hold it down steady. Platinum plus approved, that girl stay ready. Welcome to Mocha, na na bells. Welcome to Mocha, na na bells. Welcome to Mocha, no love bells. Where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free main 9 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe, we go live, we outside. Welcome to Mocha, no love bells. Where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free main 9 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe, we go live, we outside. From the panel to the people, it's pure real talk. She ain't following a trend, she lead her own walk. No cameras, my mic check with no lights on blast. But every episode hit like first class. We ain't gossiping, we testifying, keep it bold. Every story got a lesson that need to be told. So hit that bell, join the ride in style. Welcome to Mocha, stick around for a while. Welcome to Mocha, no love bells. Where the bells ring, truth in the chat stay lit. Like, comment, subscribe, don't quit. If you can't join the membership, free not be nice. Still with it. Still with it. We outside. We outside.
All right, guys, we're back in this thing. We are back in this thing. I see a few more people that slid up in here while the music was playing. Hey, y'all. Hey, happy Tuesday, guys. Welcome on in this thing. If you're just getting here, don't worry. You ain't late. We just now getting settled. If you've not yet hit the like button, please hit the like button for your girl. Let's get into it. Before we go any further, I got to get this disclaimer out the way, and then we're back to business. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use. For purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All right, guys, we're where we need to be. And we can move right on along. Kenyatta, always justice for Naziah Harris, forever 13. Thank you for being a member for 9 months, my love. I see you guys. I see you guys. Guys, let's talk about what the prosecution successfully proved was not a REDRUM. Let's talk about that. What the prosecution successfully proved was danger. How about that? Let's say it was danger and not a REDRUM. When I listened, one thing was very obvious. One thing was very obvious, and there was some nastiness, some filth, some exploitation, some grown folks' activity going on around that baby. The sneaking, the lying, the moving funny. Grown folks doing shit they had no business doing. Not only Jarvis Butts, But we're talking Shannon, Annette, Marquita's man, and all the other men, those stray bobcats that Annette had walking through there. Family members. Extended family members as well. And I don't think anybody that's being honest can deny that. That child was in danger. But one thing I know, REDRUM and danger, those ain't automatically the same thing. They prove the secrecy. They proved the lies. They proved panic behavior after the fact. And that panic behavior was Jarvis Butts using the girlfriend's or one of his women's car. That was the panic. Calling King to go and retrieve a phone. That was panic. Telling Lucretia, wipe everything down that I touched. And don't use your car. Make sure you use your mama car. That was panic. So they most definitely proved panic behavior. They proved also that Jarvis Butts didn't want certain interactions with Naziah exposed. They proved the fear that was in him because he knew damn well it was wrong as two left shoes. And they also proved that he was trying to clean shit up. And that alone is very damning. Very damning. But proving somebody was involved in something wrong is not the same as proving that somebody actually committed REDRUM. Because that's where it got me. Danger don't automatically equal REDRUM, nor does panic. And the secrets that he tried to hide about the relationship with him and Naziah, that didn't automatically equal REDRUM either. They proved that she was in an unsafe environment. So if you're going to bring to the forefront her being in an unsafe environment, that leaves a bigger question. Because the unsafe environment didn't just start with Jarvis. It started with Annette. So why is Annette not under the radar, chat? That's what I want to know. Why is Annette not under the radar? And what they have not yet proved. Clearly, they have not yet proven how Naziah went from being alive to being gone. And when a child is missing, that part really matters. Chad, do you all believe, or should I say, do you all agree that the prosecution thus far have proven danger, but not REDRUM? If you feel that they have not yet proven REDRUM, but they did expose the dangers. Drop caution in a chat for Moca. Hey, Top, I see you, baby. Please be careful. I see you, Miss Antoinette. If these people prove danger, but not yet REDRUM to our satisfaction, there should be some caution in that. And if you feel something still ain't adding up, let's see how big your eyes can get. What was not proven in that courtroom was how, when, and where Naziah allegedly lost her life. And there's still no body. That bothers me. Because you can tell me what you believe happened. I see y'all. Marty says, I know what? Annette need to be under and in it. Ain't no radar or jail. It be where she can see sky above. Oh, talk that shit, Marty. I see y'all. You can't tell me what you believed happened and not tell us how it happened. Because what you believe ain't enough for me. They don't have a body. They don't have a confirmed cause of death. They don't have a moment in time where they could actually say, this is when it happened. And the most disturbing part for me, and gave me chills all over again, they said the hoodie. They said that hoodie appeared to have stab marks. What? Appeared? Y'all supposed to be the smart ones. Y'all went to school for this. Y'all practice this every day. But to sit there and say that hoodie appeared to have stab markings. The key word was appear. Appeared is not a medical examiner. Appeared ain't even a forensic conclusion. And appeared cannot be proof of REDRUM. You can't tell me how she supposedly died when you don't even have the body to match the story. And I'm well aware that cases could be tried without a body, but when you do that, everything else has to be rock solid. And being perfectly honest, what I heard was a lot of circumstantial dots, not a clean line from alive to deceased. Proving somebody was in danger is not the same as proving REDRUM occurred at all. Simone said they hate we in these streets. We family and we outside. I hear you, Simone. Sakina, I see you, boo. TB said nobody better not call me. Oh, Lord. My phone while I'm in attendance, girl. I see y'all in the chat. Welcome, Erica Red. Thank you for being a member for 2 months, my love. Lady D said, What we talked about the other night, I think that's going to be the shocker in court. Lady D, girl. TB said negligence was definitely proven. Absolutely. Absolutely. We cannot dispute that. Negligence was all over that courtroom. And Jarvis Butts could not squeal his way out of that at all. Cynthia Harmon says, I believe everybody had a part in harming baby girl, and baby mama's not excluded. Hell no, because they did some work, Cynthia. They were definitely included in this mess. And they're working overtime because they want Jarvis Butts. They want him. And whatever it takes to get Jarvis Butts, that's the route that they're taking. Samantha says Annette is the matriarch. And they don't want to touch it. Lady D said exactly, Mocha. So how can they charge him with REDRUM? Samantha said they really don't have a REDRUM case. PJ said, Mocha, I've always questioned why they put that medical examiner on the stand. Exactly, PJ. Because that medical examiner, who was he? What was his reason for being there? Because he wasn't Naziah's doctor at all. So what could he have possibly said? Chad, if the lack of a body, if the lack of a body still bothers you, being that they still don't have Naziah's body, give Naziah some broken hearts. This shit don't sit right. And what these people, hey, Golden, welcome, boo, happy Tuesday. And what these people don't understand, nobody and no cause of death, that's going to raise questions. That's going to raise questions. I see the broken hearts in here. And I do believe that the court, I do believe that the court filled in the gaps. I see them broken hearts, y'all. We love Naziah over here. What I do believe is that the court filled in the gaps with many assumptions. Many assumptions. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that see that they filled in the gap with their assumptions. Then their entire motive, the entire motive around this case leans heavy on TextNow numbers, y'all. TextNow messages, right? Let me grab Kenyatta's comment. Mocha, that's my thing. Why is that extended family going back and forth at each other's throat, which don't have nothing to do with Naziah's disappearance? Take that energy to Annette and them twins that's the same age. They are the reason that we are here, absolutely. But let me tell you how I look at what they have going on. What that extended family is out here doing. What that extended family is out here doing is it's a distraction. It's a distraction from the things that we've learned, the things that we've heard, the things that's being exposed, and they don't want to be pulled to the front of the class. That's what it is. So they're thinking they're out here redirecting the narrative. Samantha says she tried to fix her mistakes for letting Jarvis out. That's exactly what Kim Worthy is doing right now. She let Jarvis slip through the cracks. We didn't. And had she done what she was supposed to do when she should have done it, we wouldn't be here today having this conversation, and Naziah would still be with us. So let's get back to that entire motive and how it leans so heavy on these TextNow messages. Because remember, at one point, Shannon did say she and Naziah shared phones. She would let Naziah use her phone at times. She said that. And Shannon, I want you to know, once you say shit like that, you don't get to act like you're in the clear. So we're going to stop playing slow. If phones were shared, hear me out with this TextNow shit. If phones were shared, then messages don't automatically belong to one person. Let me say that again. If phones were shared, messages don't automatically belong to one person. If these phones were shared, then you cannot swear on your life who the hell typed the messages. And we've been saying that from day one. We've been here saying that. These phones being shared. How the hell you get to build motive off messages without proving who sent the message? Because let me tell you something. TextNow, that app, it don't belong to a SIM card. It don't belong to a phone line. That app belongs to a login. You have to log in to gain access to TextNow. That means one number. Hear me, chat. That means that one number can be on multiple devices, in multiple different hands at multiple times. So when I hear Naziah texted this to Jarvis, Naziah texted that to Jarvis, my next question is, how do you know it was her typing? How do you know it was her typing? There's no SIM card attached to TextNow. It's a goddamn app. And anybody could log into it. Shannon had every right to log into it. Shannon was controlling the narrative. I can't sit up here and turn this assumption into a REDRUM motive. I just can't. That's not how the truth works. You might prove that messages did exist. But if you can't prove who the hell sent them, then that motive needs to go the hell away. Miss Antoinette say, yeah, Mocha, they're trying to distract us, but we ain't buying it because we know better. Absolutely. Absolutely, Miss Antoinette. PJ said, oh, worthless, we need to hear from you, baby. Absolutely. We haven't heard shit from her in quite some time. Tanya says, Mocha, that part. Shannon sent those messages. Shannon also seen every text message. Hell yeah, she saw them. Kenyatta says, so TextNow number is in the clouds. It's an app. It's an app. But there's traces of it. There's residuals left. Am I crazy? Or did you all hear it as well? Shannon saying that they share the phone. If you all believe they share this phone, drop some phones in the chat. Because I ain't crazy. Miss Antoinette said, yeah. She knew Naziah was texting Jarvis, and she was jealous, trying to make him think it was Naziah. She claimed she didn't know, so she asked the children, did they text their dad? Miss Antoinette, Shannon is a damn liar, and the truth ain't nowhere around it. And you have to be one sorry, simple, hard up, nasty ass woman to sit there and frame a child because you're sitting there with no morals. You're sitting there as worthless as you could be as a woman. I see the phones, y'all. I don't want to be the only one to feel that these messages don't prove a motive. These messages don't prove a motive because we saw the messages that they exposed, and then there was some that they didn't reveal. But from what they exposed, right? We're all adults. And we know what it is to be around children. We know what it is to raise children. We know how a child's mind works. And no matter how groomed Naziah may have been, no matter how many adult things they expose this child to, her mind, her brain, her cognitive level is still in a child's place. Hey, JJ, welcome, boo. That baby's mind is still in a child's place. Those text messages were well above Naziah's years. And if we're going to be honest, we have to be all the way honest. There's no way that child would have texted all of that at 12 years old. Shannon, you should be ashamed of your damn self. Because you didn't want to take the heat. You can't accept rejection. Jarvis Butts never wanted you, and he showed you that. Not only did he show Shannon he didn't want her by dealing with all these extra women, but he made it clear that she wasn't the woman that tickled his fancy or controlled his urges. Shannon was definitely a part of the play, allowing Jarvis Butts to have relations with his own daughter, her child, as well as her niece. So if you could stoop that low, Shannon, and grant access to Jarvis Butts to sleep with your daughter, to sleep with your niece, bitch, what makes you think we don't feel that you will stoop so low to pretend to be Naziah in those TextNow messages? Naziah was failed. She was failed, and Shannon, your day is coming. And Annette, you right behind her, bitch, because you allowed it. Shannon's little brain was not fully developed when she got involved with Jarvis Butts. But Annette knew better. Annette knew better. Jarvis a grown-ass man, but you got Jarvis laying up with Shannon and Marquita. Annette, you need to hang. Annette, you gave access. Then you trained Shannon and Marquita all your nasty, dirty tricks. And because of y'all bloodline, and because of the games that y'all played and the nasty things that y'all have always done, there were no boundaries. Those nasty urges had no limits. And it shows. Because children who could not defend themselves, children who cannot make decisions for themselves, were put in harm's way. And y'all allowed it. Y'all allowed it. TB said, I'm sure it was instant rage every time Big Back logged in. No, TB. It wasn't instant rage. Let me take that back. There could have been some rage, TB, when she saw the few little messages that she didn't send. And I'm going to be honest. The only messages I feel that Naziah may have, and that's a strong may have, a strong questionable may have. The only messages I feel that Naziah may have sent Jarvis was when he was ready to come pick her up and take her to the shop. All of that shit about what's going down in the basement, that was Shannon. I believe even the pregnancy test was Shannon. I do believe that. Natasha says, when they showed her those messages, she was in shock that they retrieved the ones she deleted. Absolutely. So how could she delete them, Natasha, if she didn't have access? Prosecution ain't gonna play in our face. She was shocked. Kenyatta says Shannon and Annette told so many lies on the stand. It's like they were blaming Azaya for her disappearance. Absolutely. Absolutely. And they took no accountability. These people showed no remorse. And there's a reason behind that. Nazaya's disappearance was a normal occurrence to that family. That's happened before. And they know it. And just like they showed no emotions for Nazaya, they showed no emotions for all those before Nazaya that they labeled as a runaway to never be heard from again. That's exactly why that family is moving the way that they're moving. And not only does Annette and Shannon and Marquita knows of this, that extended family knows too. That's the reason for the distractions. Don't ever think they don't know about the children that came up missing to never be heard from again. Lady D said Shannon said on that stand she would have Nazaya to text Jarvis. Absolutely. Antoinette says, do y'all think Jarvis is going to tell on Shannon? Now, Miss Antoinette, I hope the hell he do. I really hope he does. I don't think he held off on that plea deal just because. He's not sitting there looking crazy just to look crazy. Hey, Spicy, welcome, boo. Levesque says, I believe that they will go after Jarvis for the SA charge, but have evidence of an accomplice for the REDRUM, which will be Shannon and Annette. Levesque, now we're talking. Now we're talking, Levesque. I'm with you when you ride, baby. Jarvis cannot deny those SA charges. It's too goddamn many. Too many. But Jarvis is going to talk. He's going to talk. And they say he's lying. Say he's lying. TB said, if need be, I believe he will, because out of all his victims, she was the weakest link. Absolutely. But Trima said she had no ethics, not none. Nubian Max, hey girl. Absolutely, Tanya. Nazaya's mental capacity was still as a kid. And she was put in an adult situation. And that's sad. Kim says this case proves that those children were in danger. And Kim Worthless has not arrested the other people that are responsible for those kids' safety. Kim Worthless don't care. Don't care. Spicy want to know what decent parent would allow a grown man to come lay up with their daughter. Annette would. She did it over and over and over again. Annette would. Kenyatta says Annette reported Nazaya missing the next day on January 10th. Slept all night long on the night. And she supposed to be her legal guardian and a grandmother. Child, please. Absolutely. Absolutely. But she wants us to believe that. See, not only is the prosecution motive leaning towards those TextNow messages, but they're also leaning hard on that pregnancy claim, y'all. They're leaning on that pregnancy claim and searches about the at-home abortions. But once again, in Moca's opinion, that don't automatically equal REDRUM. They say in those messages, pregnancy was missing. Pregnancy was mentioned. Nazaria supposedly told Jarvis, this shit is getting too hard. I can't do Jim like this. Moca has a bigger question, chat. Moca has a bigger question. That pregnancy was hearsay. Do we really know if Nazaria was pregnant? Do we really know if she was pregnant? They say pregnancy was mentioned. Those messages came from that TextNow number. Messages sent from that same number that was shared with Shannon. So before we sit here and play around with the motive that these people have, we gotta ask, who texted that to Jarvis? Was it Nazaria or was it Shannon? Was it Nazaria or was it Shannon? Because pregnancy ain't proven by those messages. Hold up, let's pull the reins back and slow these fucking horses down. Pregnancy, as long as I've ever known it, it's proven by a body, a test, a doctor, something concrete. But all I heard Shannon say when she mentioned to Roxy, whispered it in that fucking kitchen, I gave her a pregnancy test. Where's the doctor's evidence? Where's the medical report? Where's any of that? I got a problem, y'all. I got a problem because they gave us nothing concrete. And I'm not saying it wasn't true. I'm saying it still have not been proven. Now let's talk about the searches. Searching about abortion. What? What? Do y'all really believe? If you believe that Jarvis Butts himself searched for abortion in his phone, put a 1 in the chat. Or if y'all believe Shannon had something to do with that search, put a 2 in the chat. Spicy said that's what's going to get Jarvis off on this REDRUM charge. Too many loopholes, absolutely. Chanel, my girl, she said, Jarvis said he didn't know who he was texting. Crazy work, Chanel. And I believe him. Kenyatta says, I hope Jarvis tells everybody the part that they played and the one who knows and were there. I pray to God he does. Levesque said he'd go tell on Shannon and Annette, or else he's going down for the REDRUM. And I don't think he's going to take that. Pamela says, just a thought. What if Annette redrummed her? Because she was mad and Shannon helped her cover up. Pamela, we ain't taking nothing off the table, baby. Look at everybody. Say Shannon, 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 because I don't think Jarvis is smart enough for that. See? That's how it's looking. Pamela, we ain't taking nothing off the table, boo. Absolutely, Samantha. We don't know if that baby was pregnant. My girl Essie says, Mocha, why did Naziah have to be the one to end up missing? Let's slow it down, Essie. We don't know why, baby. Who knows? Maybe Naziah was defiant. Naziah challenged their asses. Naziah gave them a run for their money. Naziah became too much for them. Naziah was going to expose all the nastiness, the dirts, the secrets, the shit that they allowed. Maybe Naziah was tired of being put up for sale. Maybe Naziah was tired of laying on her back with strangers in motels and shit. Maybe Naziah was tired of Eric Gamble touching her. Maybe Naziah was just fed the fuck up and was going to tell it. And they couldn't risk her telling it. So just like the others that came up missing from Annette's household and labeled as a runaway to have never been seen again, nobody ever questioned it. And they thought by Naziah, they thought by them labeling Naziah as a runaway, they never expected this shit to get as big as it's gotten. But Naziah, baby, you got angels all around you. We ain't letting you go out like that. Annette got to answer for this shit. And Shannon gonna answer for this shit. I believe it was a throw off too, Sam. Antoinette said, Mocha, if Shannon was not trying to cover her own ass, why do she continue to change her phone number? Make it make sense. Exactly. Normal people have the same cell phone number for years and years and years. Since Naziah's disappearance. Shannon may as well just go ahead on and open a T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T store, something, because Shannon had her share of cell phones. She done had her share of cell phones, but what Shannon failed to realize, bitch, you ain't smart enough to cover up and hide nothing. Hey, Teresa, welcome to the channel, baby. She says, Mocha, I love you. You're right on point. My heart has been broken from the day I heard about Naziah. How could these monsters do unthinkable things to her? Teresa, baby. They didn't need much practice. Naziah was just another notch in their belt. She ain't the first that they've done this to. But they've gotten away with it over and over and over again. But not this time. Not this, Dr. J.D., I see you, boo. Not this time, Teresa. Our hearts hurt. But I pray to God. I pray to God. The proof that the prosecutors don't have. The proof that they don't have. I pray to God Naziah walked in that courtroom. Marty said, let's get it. Direct to the point. She went to the school and reported it to George Harris. And who the hell is George Harris? Not to the DPD. If that wasn't normal family do for a missing child, well, it's the Freaky Circus Clan. I rest my case. Absolutely, Marty. Why would she go and report Nazaria missing after she done slept a black ass all night long? She done slept all night long. And you go get up in the morning and you mean to tell me that's the first thought that came in your mind, to go report her to a school resource officer that she was a runaway? Who is George Harris? Is George Harris Annette's brother-in-law? Is George Harris related to Annette in any kind of way? I want to know. Shannon, your ass is in trouble. Antoinette said Shannon is slow as hell, for real. Who goes around the house passing out pregnancy tests to little girls? That's enough to prove she knew it was wrong for Jarvis to even be touching the babies. She's slow. As you said, she's slow. Essie said Jarvis ain't smart enough to look up that type of information. Absolutely. Absolutely. Kenyatta says Nazaria was also prettier than them. Nasty big back twins that's the same age. She looked better than all of them, even Annette. TB definitely gonna be the trial of the century, boo. Sister Deidre, I see you, my love. Shannon went to every little umbrella and got burner phones, y'all. Simone said, I believe he's her family member. PJ, my girl, we in the same alley, turning down the same driveway. PJ said, I believe old George is Annette's brother-in-law. That's what I thought. See, my thing is this. Prosecution using this as a motive. Jarvis supposedly researching at-home abortion. People Google dumb shit. They Google illegal, reckless shit every day when they're scared. But I still don't believe he did it. When a person is in a situation and they're afraid of shit, they lie, they hide, they try to clean shit up. But even being afraid and doing all that shit, that don't mean he took a life. Because let's be real, y'all. Look at Jarvis Butts. Already facing time for dealing with the gun charge. Knowing his ass was going to be gone for a whole year. So he was feeling the pressure and he was panicking, right? So we got to make it make sense. Listen. Jarvis knew what he was facing. Jarvis knew he was facing that gun charge. He knew he was going to be out of them streets for a whole year. Now we got to be realistic. We got to be human on this thought. Do you all believe? Do you all believe? We speaking as adults tonight. If Jarvis had any idea, if Jarvis knew that once he turned himself in for that gun charge, If Jarvis knew that they was going to stick all this on him, and he had already gone to the courts and told them, hey, I can't turn myself in right now. I got some legal business to take care of. When they granted Jarvis the right to take care of whatever legalities he had, and if Jarvis knew without a shadow of a doubt that he did a REDRUM, don't y'all think Jarvis butts would have ran? Don't y'all think Jarvis butts would have ran? That got to be dumb as shit to turn yourself in knowing that they go hem your ass up for REDRUM, and that's the rest of your natural life in prison versus the 12 months that you would have had to stay there on a gun charge. I'm just saying. I could be crazy. I could sound crazy. But I mean, I'm just saying. And if it ain't coming out right, or if Mocha wrong, y'all know how y'all do it here. Mocha, back that shit up. Because no, Mocha, you're wrong. Kenyatta says you can change phone numbers and keep the same phone. So what did Shannon do? Get a new phone and new number? Or what? Just asking. No, Kenyatta. See, it ain't the phone. The phone ain't the issue. And it wasn't phone numbers that a phone company would give us. Shannon went on a computer, used an app, and an app gave her a phone number. It's not tied to a SIM card. It ain't a bill you paid. It's free text numbers. You can't call nobody, but you can text your ass off on it. Tanya says Shannon is slower than slow. Levesque says there got to be recent medical paperwork in the system for Naziah. Remember, because she was in the hospital prior, before she came missing, in which we still don't know why she was in the hospital. Levesque, we hoping that comes to surface, because she was in the hospital. But hold up, Levesque. Let's go back to that. Slow your ass down, Mocha, and back the hell up. Levesque. The text message went to Jarvis from a TextNow number saying I was in a hospital. You remember when I was in a hospital. Levesque, that question has to come out because we don't know now. Was it Shannon or was it really Naziah? Is it Shannon or is it really Naziah? Because this is one thing we also have to know or remember. Shannon claimed miscarriage. Shannon claimed pregnancies. You follow where I'm going? All around this very same time. And then our story is her and Naziah was pregnant at the same time. We gonna make this shit make sense. So was it really Naziah in the hospital? Because we do know if Naziah went and Mocha, shut up and back it up some more. Because Shannon did tell Cash Levesque they couldn't risk taking Naziah to no doctors and shit, because then the doctors and shit would have been looking at Annette and started questioning. Let's get it right. Let's get it right. So both of these things can't be true. Naziah couldn't have been in no hospital pregnant. And Shannon turned right around and tell Cash she went get the morning after pills for Naziah to abort that baby. And Naziah refused to take it because they couldn't take Naziah to a doctor because then Annette would have been in the radar. Now, if I heard wrong, somebody correct the fuck out of me. But that's what I believe Shannon told Cash. Evelyn Gentry, welcome, my love. Chucky, I see you. Dr. J.D. said for somebody with 20 plus children, a taste for young bloods looking up home abortion is not at the top of his list of things to Google. Dr. J.D. talk your shit, because why would I want to abort one more? And I already got 20. Why would I abort one more? And I already got 20. And of the 20 that I already have, Moca's going to say 15 of them was about underage girls. So make this shit make sense, y'all. Make it make sense. Oh, Lord. Why? Why? You got 20 plus children. They're all your baby mamas were underage. So what made Naziah different? Why get rid of hers? Shannon, you ain't shit. You ain't shit. Shannon, it ain't working for you, boo. It ain't working for you. Gorgeous Beauty, welcome, my love. April says, sister. April says, didn't Marquita say Shannon was a mastermind when it came to the computers? Hold up. That wasn't Marquita that said that. Jernell and Kawana said that on my platform one night. They said Shannon was a mastermind on the computer. That's who said it. So didn't that tell a story as well? If they're going to openly admit that Shannon is a mastermind on the computer, you have to ask yourself this question. What do they know that they're not saying? What has Shannon displayed that they're aware of that they're not saying? We gotta make it make sense, y'all. Jernell said it. Shannon's a mastermind. So y'all take what Jernell said. Take those TextNow numbers. And we can't put that shit on Naziah. We just cannot put that shit on Naziah. That baby. Naziah done a lot of shit. But the shit that Naziah has done is because they introduced her to it. They taught it to her. They groomed her for it. So we can't blame this child for nothing, because this child was a product of her environment. She's not responsible for what she does. But them grown hoes were very responsible, and they failed her. Tanya said Jarvis is the lowest of the low. He didn't have anything to do with Naziah's disappearance. Absolutely. I believe that. Chanel said, Mocha, I never thought about that. It makes sense. Chanel, think about it, boo. Jarvis was going to turn himself in on a gun charge. 12 months. All he had to do was sit in jail 12 months. He could have did that with his eyes closed because he had just gotten off of a 8-year sentence. So why would I trade in 12 months for the rest of my life? Why? This shit ain't adding up. And Shannon, that's a hell of a get back at Jarvis because you're bitter and you're mad and you're angry and you're sour. And you stuck with 3 children and 2 possible. That's what go hang your ass more so. You around here claiming to be the mother of 2 children that you never gave birth to, and the extended family lying for your ass, saying, oh yeah, that's Shannon's children. Well, goddamn it, the court says different. So Shannon, you was right along with the bullshit and the fuckery and all the games that Jarvis Butts was playing in these streets. Because Shannon, now you need to go see the prosecution playing around, because what they need to do is make you answer and say where the mothers are of those 2 babies that you have that's not yours. Oh, they tested very positive of being Jarvis Butts' children, but they tested very negative of being yours. So where are these children's mother? I understand, Kim Worthless, your ass really want Jarvis Butts, but you really need to be doing your job, because ain't no mama just gonna give somebody up their children and then the mama ain't nowhere to be found. Annette, you sitting your ass there accepting these 2 little children in your house with no questions asked. Is that all for money? You people are weird. And the sad part of the sickness that y'all possess, y'all are weird in a worse type of way. Y'all harm people in your weirdness. Where is these children's mother? And that's why this dumbass extended family goes along. Well, Shannon had a miscarriage. Well, how the hell you could have a miscarriage and got a little baby that young? So what? She got pregnant a month after she had that one? Y'all gonna make this shit make sense, people. This is crazy. So something is truly wrong with the system. Dr. JD says, with Frank as his sponsor, he very well could have ran Mocha. He didn't think that they would turn on him, knowing what he knew about them, that part. And I believe that with all my heart. If Jarvis Butts had any idea that he would have been facing what the hell he's facing, Jarvis Butts was as good as out of here. He was gone. Jarvis Butts would have became an Arab. He wasn't going to sit his ass there and take that charge. He was going to become an Arab. Funny, not funny, but shit. The truth is the truth. And I ain't sugarcoating shit. I'm not going to spit no narrative. I ain't softening no blow for nobody. Absolutely, Lady D. He would have never turned himself in. Hey, Awesome is Wilson, welcome, boo. He said she was making Jarvis cash her out for being fake pregnant. And very fake pregnant. Very, very fake pregnant. Well, Miss Antoinette, I can't speak for a convicted felon. I can't speak for a person that lives life on the edge. I can't speak for a person who does the things that Jarvis does. Mocha, why did Jarvis have all those firearms knowing that he's a convicted felon? Only because he is in these streets doing wrong. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's right, Tanya. Cash got the evidence and Cash turned it in. And I believe with what Cash gathered, that's one of the reasons Jarvis is not accepting that plea deal. They could play crazy if they want. TB said them kids was only allowed to go to school. They was told not to go in there running their motherfucking mouths. Absolutely. 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 Kenyatta says Shannon is embarrassed about the whole Naziah and Jarvis situation. She could be as embarrassed as she want now. She should have thought about what she was doing. She should have thought about the game she was playing. She will have a lifetime to be embarrassed by the time the women finish with her in prison. Then these people, the strongest physical evidence that the prosecution claimed to have is that hoodie. But strong evidence is not the same as proof. That's my opinion. And I ain't gonna sit my ass here and pretend that hoodie don't matter, because it do. But in Mocha's opinion, that's not Naziah's hoodie. That hoodie was too damn big. I understand it was cold in Detroit. I understand all of that. But as big as that hoodie was, Mocha could have slid in that hoodie. That hoodie, according to prosecution, it tied Naziah to a certain place. And then it ties Jarvis to Naziah. But here's my problem. Why the fuck are they acting like this hoodie tells the whole story and it don't? Even Annette, raggedy ass. Annette identified the hoodie. Annette said, oh yeah, Naziah had that hoodie on when she left for school. I'm going to backtrack you, Annette, bitch. Because the only thing we heard that Naziah had on was a rugrat coat. You never mentioned the hoodie. Then you said, prosecution said, and we have proof that this is Naziah's hoodie because the photo of Naziah, her last day in the school, she had that hoodie on. Let's backtrack. The Naziah that we saw in TikTok videos was not the same Naziah in that school picture. Then y'all claim that hoodie was found in the same area where Jarvis' phone pinged for 2 hours. What? Y'all said it was blood on it. Y'all said both their DNAs was on it. But then you fucked me up when you said it appeared to have stab marks. There go that fucking word appeared again. Appeared don't tell me how, when, why, where. It don't tell me what happened. You cannot tell me somebody was stabbed without a body, because how the hell you know? You cannot tell me how many times she was stabbed because there's no body. And you cannot tell me where it happened because you still ain't got a body. And you sure in the hell can't tell me a whole story off of a goddamn hoodie with no medical examiner confirmation. I don't give a damn. Miss Jackson says Jarvis and Naziah picture. Side by side, they favor each other. I believe if he knew Lady first, he slept with her. Mervin was defaulted because I said Mervin was a default. I said that. All I can say about that hoodie proved that they were in contact. We can't deny nor argue that fact. Hell, they were being together. Shannon knew they were laying up together. Annette knew they were laying up together. Hell, all of them knew they were laying up together. So why wouldn't Nazia's DNA be on Jarvis' hoodie? The prosecution said that that hoodie proved proximity. What? They said that hoodie proved that they were together. Okay, I get that. I'm going to take that. But goddamn it, that hoodie did not prove REDRUM by itself. And here's another thing. Just because a hoodie was thrown out in the middle of nowhere, y'all smart ass prosecutors, just because that hoodie was thrown out there somewhere, that don't automatically tell you who the fuck threw it there, and neither why. Neither why. Especially, back up, Moca, back the hell up. Just because that hoodie was thrown out there, it don't tell us who threw it. It don't tell us why they threw it. You see, we got to look at this from a different lens because we already know Shannon and Nazia shared the same TextNow number. We already know stories were controlled through Shannon. We already know that the adults were moving funny, those immediate family members and the extended family members as well. This case keeps doing the same goddamn thing, giving us pieces, but not the moment. And that missing moment, that's the truth. That's the truth that we still don't know. Absolutely, Miss Antoinette. Shannon needs to be under the jail. PJ said, Moca, Shannon didn't give a damn about Nazia. She was trying to save her and her mama ass. Low down, dirty demons. That's exactly who they are. That's exactly who they are. The fucked up part is they're still trying to save their own ass. That extended family ain't shit either, because they're protecting them too. They're protecting them. Nazia was failed. Should have locked Shannon ass up. Soon as that test came back showing that she had 3 children and 2 possibles, bitch, you sitting there with a whole spade hand. Answer that, Shannon. What mother in her right mind, hard like times is, it's a struggle to take care of 3 children. But then you pick up 2 more. But if the system wants to be fair, now is the time to pressure your ass. Tell the truth about Nazia and tell where these 2 children's mother is. That's what you need to do. Marty says it said the defense got 10 witnesses. I just wondered if that Cash could be one of them. It's a possibility, Marty. Dr. JD said if she was embarrassed, the devil is embarrassed. Girl, them people ain't got no type of embarrassment. It shows. Miss Antoinette said, Mocha, what bothered me when still wig wearing Annette was on the stand. She act like she didn't know how many children are. She don't know. I'm going to be honest with you, Miss Antoinette. She don't know how many children are in our house because they're not looked upon as children. They are looked upon as money makers. And I say that in the most fucking disrespectful way, Annette. You making money, selling your grandchildren. Bitch, you need to rot. You need to rot. You need to rot. You had Jarvis Butts going to the school knowing his history, going to the school picking up children. You had Jarvis Butts out here like the candy man in the name of taking children to the store at 2 o'clock in the morning, and that make sense. Y'all the most nastiest, disgustingest bunch of people. Hey, Miss Jackson, welcome. Miss Jackson says, oh, I read that one already. Tanya said that hoodie was bullshit. That hoodie was a distraction, planted evidence. And then they had nerves to say that Vari, listen to this shit. Vari confirmed the hoodie, the onesie, the red shoe. Vari confirmed all of that belonged to Naziah. Now, mind you, Vari been out of Annette's house. They said he ran away too. They like that word, runaway. Vari had been out of Annette's home. So how the hell Vari confirms that the red shoe belongs to Naziah, but then when y'all look at that little fake ass girl, whoever that is y'all got walking on that ring cam, that shoe is not red. That hoodie was not in the picture. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Spicy said all three of those bitches are ignoring and dismissing Naziah like she meant nothing to them. They couldn't have liked or have any love for it. It shows. It shows. Lady D says, I believe once Jarvis turned himself in, that's when all hell broke loose. He found out he was being charged with REDRUM. Shannon set him up. She set him up, Lady D. She set him up. Because, Lady D, let's talk about the setup, right? Let's talk about the setup. She knew Jarvis had a date that he was going to turn himself in. She knew that. So they sit there and they calculated and got their story straight. Because they knew what had already happened. They knew this. So Naziah went missing January 9th, as they claimed. Shannon swears to God, from the moment Naziah went missing to February 7th when Jarvis turned himself in, she swears to God she had no communication with him. Bitch, you lied. So from January 9th to February 7th, Jarvis had a whole damn month to pack his shit and get the hell on. If he felt he did a REDRUM. He didn't run. And because he didn't run, that speaks volumes. Levesque says, I believe that day that Naziah went missing, Shannon and Jarvis had the idea to abort. Jarvis brought Naziah back to the shop to carry out the plan. Something went wrong and they had to call Annette. I hear that too. I hear that too, Levesque, but listen. and Levette. And I can understand that we're getting a lot of things that we're getting based off of those text messages. Based off of Shannon manipulating the story. Coercing children to lie. Because if I'm not mistaken, Shannon's very own daughter, in a text message, somebody asked, where was Naziah? And she replied, Naziah's at the shop with my mom and my dad. You don't think that child was made to say that? This shit is sick. Marty says 3 DNAs allegedly was on that hoodie. Who is 1, 2, and 3? Annette, how many change of coats and clothes did Naziah have in her book bag? That's an old picture of Naziah. She got a black eye, scabs on her head, thick ass. Y'all sick as shit. Absolutely, Marty. But Marty, that picture with the bumps and bruises and scars on Naziah's head, that's an old ass picture. Naziah had to be 10 years old on that picture. That's not Naziah. Naziah in that picture was a little fat girl growing up into her teenage years. You know how little children are chubby, and as they grow older and they mature, they start thinning out. That picture that they gave the people talking about that was her last day at school, that was an old ass picture. Shannon and Annette coached all those children to lie. And the reason I say they coached them to lie is because even in the reports it said when CPS and DPD went to question those children after the allegations were made in 2022 about Jarvis touching these children at a party, everybody agreed that he did what they said he did. But then when they sent CPS raggedy ass, DPD no good ass to Annette's home, all the children's stories changed. So y'all don't think that Annette and Shannon had that much power over those children? Those children lived in survival mode and they were fearful of Annette and Shannon. So it's a good thing those children are not with them. Awesomeness said she could have worn it to the store. Possibility. Miss Jackson said wipe everything down means something happened, I think. Miss Jackson, whatever happened, right? I believe Shannon. I believe Jarvis' girlfriend, because they all in cahoots. They all in Lucretia, Blue Call. They all in fucking cahoots. Because she said her dumb ass there like she didn't know nothing and she knew everything. Because how the hell you going to let a man take your car, tear your shit up like that? You don't question him, but he going to tell you, don't use your shit no more. Go use your mama one and make sure you wipe everything out and touch down. Come on now. She knows. She knows. Miss Jackson says, why would Jarvis and King be riding around keeping company with a 13-year-old? It's neither one of them, and it's neither one of them kid. And they are both felons. Absolutely, Miss Jackson. But remember, King ain't shit either. But I can't put this on him, right? I'm not going to put it on him. Because when King sat on that stand, King said over and over and over again, I told him to take her home. I asked him if he was going to take her home because she was in the way. I don't think King was comfortable. I honestly, and that's just my opinion, I don't think King was comfortable with Naziah being in their company. Oh, of course, King done seen these little girls come and go to this shop. He done seen it. But I also believe everything that Jarvis Butts did with these little girls at that shop, I believe he did it after hours. And the reason I more so believe he did it after hours because King was on tether. King had to be home at a certain time. King could not see the relations that he was having with these young girls. And why would Shannon choose to go to the shop at night? Why would Annette go to the shop at night? Why would Marquita go to the shop at night? And when you think about it, the little girl Brooklyn in her testimony, she said what she saw. But not one time did she mention that King was there. So I'm into telling the truth from what I see, right? I can't throw somebody under the bus that don't deserve to be under the bus. I honestly don't think King played with these little children like Jarvis did. And I could be very wrong. And I would like to hear y'all take on it. I could be very, very wrong. Ms. Antoinette said that hoodie belongs to Jarvis. There's photos of him wearing it. Absolutely. Absolutely. When you see Jarvis going to his daughter, the very daughter that testified on his nasty ass for touching her, his older daughter. When Jarvis went to take pictures with that child for her going to her prom, Jarvis had the hoodie on. But we crazy. Ms. Jackson said their stories aren't straight. They can't even agree if they were paid Cash App or someone went to the ATM. Ms. Jackson, the stories don't match because they're lying on the date. Beautiful soul. Hey, boo. She said that jailhouse call, he told King to go get that phone. It backfired because they found the tablet and the glasses and they found the black sweatshirt. They found it. They found it. And the only reason he told King to go get that phone, King could have fell in that seat when Jarvis found out in court that King never got the phone. I don't think King ever had any intentions on going look for it. He wanted to distance himself. I think when it came to them little children, and I could be wrong. I could be very, very wrong. And I don't mind being corrected. Y'all know that. Ms. Jackson says, with Naziah texting she was pregnant, Cash recording, the brother calling and telling online the fiance that she should be done with Jarvis, someone knows what happened. Ms. Jackson, they know, boo. Believe me. And I don't believe it was Naziah that texted she was pregnant. A touch of faith. Welcome to the chat, my love. She says, I believe that day Jarvis drove around to get parts. He was buying time to bump into Naziah. It was pre-planned. I will pick you up on the corner of so-and-so. It wasn't no accident. You don't think? You don't think? I think, and I get you, I don't discredit what you're saying, baby. But my take on that is this. They said Nazaria got off of that bus at 2:47. That's what they said. And they said Nazaria texted Jarvis, meet me after school. And if you're not there, I'll wait. All right? So let's take that into consideration. She said, I'll wait. So now it ain't making sense because she didn't wait. Especially with Jarvis and King saying she walked damn near 2 miles and they picked her up way over there, pregnant. So who texted that? Who sent that message? That's what you got to ask yourself. Dr. JD says she didn't know how many children are their birthdays. A farmer don't count his chickens. He count his profits. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And that ain't no shit. Jarvis needs to explain to the court, who does the third party DNA belong to on that hoodie? And put their ass up under the jail. Absolutely. Marty says Annette and Shannon should have been locked up for perjury the second they stepped out of that witness box. Y'all put the devil to shame because you're a born idiots, not the rest. Yes, Lord, Marty. Not the rest of the world. Touch Your Face said, I reckon Nazaria told Jarvis Shannon was on her and didn't want to go back to the house. Maybe threatened to tell someone, and he told her he was sorted out, but something happened. There are many possibilities. There are many possibilities, and we're not dismissing none of them. I don't ever want y'all to feel or believe or think I'm dismissing any possibilities. That's why we talk it out. Because every opinion here matters. And there are none to be dismissed. Awesome Miss Wilson want to know, do the other kids know the truth? Awesome Miss, I believe they do. I believe those children know. Remember, the stories didn't start coming out. As long as those children were in Shannon and Annette's care, the stories weren't coming out. But the minute they removed them and put them in foster care, those children started telling their story. As Jackson says, where's the pediatric nurse that claims Annette fooled them? What testimony did they give? Absolutely. You see, that's what gets me. All of this he say, she say, they say, I said. But none of these people, PJ, thank you for supporting the channel, my love. None of these people have been questioned. Unless they're in that whole line of questioning with all these other people. Because where are all these people coming from with these theories and these stories? I don't get it. PJ says, Moca, Annette didn't know how many children were in her house, but I guarantee you she know how many checks she received in a month. Oh, money hungry asshole. Absolutely. Absolutely. Not only could she tell you how many checks she received in a month, but Annette was also able to tell you how much she collected by having those little girls lay on their backs. Now we're going to talk the goddamn truth. Call it all out. Miss Jackson, that's the fucked up part. Miss Jackson says, letting Vari identify evidence, and he didn't even live in Annette's house. Get the fuck out of here with the bullshit. Miss Jackson, I'm with you when you're right, sis. But we crazy though. A shoe in a tree. Shoes look too big for Naziah. The color don't even match the ones that's in the missing this flyer description. The color of the shoe don't even match the shoes of the person on the ring cam. These people gotta stop. And the prosecution needs to go lay down. Touch of Faith said if Naziah told someone, it would raise what was going on with the other children. Absolutely. Absolutely. Lady D said that's why Jarvis didn't take the deal. And he was taking them notes. He's saying he's not going down by himself. And I don't blame him. As Jackson said, it was the end of 2023 or 24. The technology is there to be photo proof, video evidence on someone's cloud storage. Absolutely. They knew. Kenyatta said Shannon moved back in with Annette in October 23, but the text messages start with Naziah and Jarvis in 2022. Come on now, something ain't right. Kenyatta. But we crazy. We crazy. They showed text messages that started in 2022. Hence, Naziah is not living at Annette's house. And Naziah is in Clinton Township with Shannon. And Naziah had been in Clinton Township with Shannon since she was 2 years old. Look at how long Jarvis been playing with Naziah. We got to keep it all the way real. Jarvis had no picks and chooses when he violated a 4-year-old. So what makes you, me, or anybody else think he moving in with Shannon and Naziah is 2 years old? What makes us think that he had a preference in age? He tried it with a 4-year-old. What makes us think he didn't try Naziah at 2? And then for Shannon to sit her greasy ass on that stand and say they only had an uncle and niece relationship. Well, correction, bitch, because that wasn't her uncle. That was just a man that you were desperate to be with. You accepted his past. You accepted his history. You accepted his nastiness. And that's where people get it confused. Jarvis Butt stayed with Shannon out of convenience. Not because he wanted her. Not because he loved her. He stayed with Shannon because Shannon opened her doors to Jarvis. Annette opened her home to Jarvis because remember, Annette said we're family. Marquita opened her legs to Jarvis. God knows whoever else in that family then opened up themselves to Jarvis. But one thing we all know. Birds of a feather flock together. The energy was the same. The darkness of their demeanor was the same. The nastiness was the same. They were all pedos. So they didn't mind mingling together. They merged very well. Because whatever he did was sick. But then as time went on, he realized that the things that they have done in that family was even sicker. So he was comfortable. Kenyatta says, okay, I read that one. It ain't right, girl. It ain't right. But we supposed to overlook that. We supposed to overlook that. Marty said, oh, Mocha King is in the mix. He around that Harris Gamble Freaky Circus and Jarvis and Peaches. Oh, yeah, girl. They went to Disney World. King went to Disney World. Uh-huh. Awesome Miss Wilson says, Mocha, I think King was just like Jarvis. Because they're too close. Levesque said, I agree with you, Mocha. I don't believe King had anything to do with what happened that night. Not according to his tether. Touch of Fate said when the shop was searched, there was condoms. So for all sorts of things happened at the shop. King must have had some knowledge. Where he made it known or not, unless he's dumb, he knew about the other stuff. Let's go back to when the shop was searched. Let's go back to when the shop was searched. Because we have to be politically correct. That shop did not get searched right away. Jarvis Butts was locked up when that shop got searched. King was no longer working there when that shop got searched. We understand that when Jarvis got locked up in that shop, they closed that shop up. People on the streets were breaking into that shop and doing what they do. That's where the condoms come from. That's where all that other stuff came from. So we can't pin that on King. And we can't pin that on Jarvis. Because other people had gone in there and trashed it. They're talking about the fire that was set in that shop. I believe it was a fire to stay warm. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Lady D said Jarvis and Shannon talked the night before about what they were going to do. It's likely. That trial, I'm with you, Kenyatta. That trial can't get here fast enough. Levesque said, Mocha, this case makes you put all scenarios together to make it make sense as we're doing. We have to do it that way. We have to do it that way. Tammy said, so why did it take Jarvis and King to get back from King's son's house? That lady said it was daytime. The ride is 45 minutes. Tammy, they lied. That lady didn't know. That lady was confused. That lady didn't know whether it was day or night. That lady didn't know whether she paid cash, went to the ATM. That lady story didn't add up. And that's what we got to look at. Shut Your Trap asks, will the trial be open to the public? Absolutely, it will be. Touch Your Face says she was a baby. For him, as sad as it sounds, but he liked babies. He liked babies. Leanne says, don't forget that 4-year-old was his child. They had long-range motion around every child, Leanne. Every child. This man did not mind touching his children. That's sick. In the worst way. And there had to be some miserable ass, poor ass, low class ass women. But we ain't here for all night. We came out here once again and do what we did. And we know Naziah was failed at that house first. because access was allowed, boundaries were ignored, and these nasty ass adults made choices that put every child in that home in danger, and yet Naziah paid the price. We didn't get here by accident, y'all. Naziah didn't just fall into danger. Danger was allowed in that baby's life. And once access is allowed, we have to be real about it. Once that type of access is allowed, everything after that is so predictable. This didn't start in a stranger's home. This didn't just start with them fake ass TextNow numbers. It started in Annette's house. Because when you're supposed to be the matriarch, bitch, or the adult in charge, the grandma, you don't deserve a grandmother title. I'm here to tell you. You're supposed to be the damn gatekeeper to keep everybody safe. But instead, you decided to give access to pedos. You decided to sell your granddaughter, trick her out. You decided that inappropriate touching was acceptable. Failure began, Annette, when you couldn't control your nasty ass urges. Because had you tamed the demons that was in you, none of your grandchildren would have suffered the consequences. But the demon in you wasn't controlled. We're here today because of Annette's choices. We're here today because of Shannon's choices. We're here because of Jarvis' choices. Y'all want to blur out the boundaries, control narrative, put nasty ass adults over children. Accountability starts at home. When adults fail to protect children, children always pay the price. We could argue all day long about who typed what in that TextNow message. We can argue all day long about what happened, where it happened, and how we think it happened. But one thing we cannot argue about. We cannot argue with the fact that Naziah was never protected. And when the child ain't protected, the outcome is never good. Never good. I'm not sitting in this bitch to give nobody closure, because closure don't exist. Closure can't exist while Naziah is still missing. But I want to say this. Naziah didn't just vanish into thin air. She was failed. Failed by every adult that was in her presence. And I say with every bit of my being. Immediate family, extended family, the goddamn, everybody failed her. Danger walked in because the door was open. And until people start being honest about who opened that goddamn door, these stories will keep changing and the truth will forever be hidden. I'm not about to rush and label REDRUM on Jarvis' butts, especially when the facts don't support it. But I will call out a goddamn failure when I see it. Naziah deserved protection. She deserved to be around caring ass adults, those who chose her and not convenience nor their nasty ass lifestyles. And let me say this, because the truth don't stop at just one door. Nazaria was failed by multiple people. Her entire family, immediate and extended. Because for years, they saw who Annette allowed in that house and they said nothing. She was failed by the school. They saw the signs. And instead of calling the right people who could have saved this baby long time ago, they called Annette and swept it under the rug. That's why she was so comfortable going reported to them. Nazaria was failed by CPS. Complaints were made. Nothing was done. She was failed by DPS and DPD because they waited too long to intervene. And yes, she was failed by her own damn mama. Lady lived through the same access, the same fucking mistreatment, and she still chose to give Annette guardianship over her damn children. Y'all, this wasn't just one bad decision. This was years and years and years of adults choosing their nastiness and what made them comfortable over protecting these children. Nazaria didn't disappear because nobody knew. I want y'all to absorb that. Nazaria didn't disappear because nobody knew, y'all. She disappeared because too fucking many people knew and did nothing. They're not the type to protect children and close the doors and not let the monsters in. They kept letting them in. Nazaria didn't stand a chance. She was failed. 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 On that note, we recognize the patterns. We recognize the behaviors. We recognize the lies. And we're going to call them out each and every time. Prosecution ain't got shit other than essay charges on Jarvis's butts because what they're leaning on ain't proving a damn thing. And you got to prove it. Shannon and Annette ain't safe. They're far from it. But we're going to keep doing what we do for Nazaria. We're going to keep doing what we do for Nazaria each and every time we come out here. I'm not worried about that extended family and the bullshit they got going on. That's irrelevant. Because they're fighting their own demons. They're not going to bring that distraction to me. Because if they had that type of energy for Nazaria and all those other children, we wouldn't be having this conversation today. You wouldn't. We're going to get out of here. I love each and every one of you. Protect your peace. Protect your energy. And most of all, love on and protect your children. Because these children matter. And what we're not going to do, we're not going to make the world believe, think, or feel that over here at this place, we're not going to make them believe we don't come together on one accord and talk it out. We're family over here. Everybody has an opinion. All opinions are valuable. All opinions matter. We keep it respectful and we keep it cute. We have one mission and one mission only. All we want to know is, where's Naziah? Absolutely, Kenyatta, where's Naziah? Chat, I love you all. Pray for me as I pray for y'all, so we could come out here each and every day and do what we do. Because these children matter. These stories matter. And if you rock with Moca, don't forget to hit that like button. Share out the live if you can. Hype up the chat. Keep your notifications set so you know when I come live. And we're going to continue doing what we do. On your way out, if you have not hit that like button, please do so. Tap, tap, tap those emojis to the right. And we're going to get up out of here saying that, Naziah, we love you. We're fighting for you. We are here for you. Your name will continue to ring over here with Mocha and the Nola Bells. Purpose over popularity all day long. Because if I ain't got a purpose, being popular don't mean a goddamn thing. And Naziah, you matter, my love. You matter. Good night, everyone. God bless.
We stand tall, we rise as one. No bells, the work ain't done. No. Mocha leading from the heart, never run. Truth and caring, everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. Team full of truth and a chat full of cheer. Mocha in the seat, steady steering the ship. Every topic got depth, every comment got grip. We don't tear folks down, we just build them up. If you're moving off love, then you one of us. Know the pride in the room and the vibe so loud. Every bell in the chat gon' rep that crowd. We stand tall. One tribe, one mission in mind. We protect what's right and we hold that line. It's the chat where the truth and the love collide, where the voices don't hide and the pain gets light. We see you, we feel you, we fight for the cause. Every kid, every tear, we break down walls. When you hear that bell, that's the call to act. We family now, and that's just facts. We stand tall, we rise as one. Blow the bells, the work ain't done. Leading from the heart, never run. Truth and care are everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This one's for every voice we fight for and every child who needs to be heard. We see you, we feel you. We stand with the truth. This is the Nola Bells. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. Stand tall and join the family.
Good night, everyone. God bless.